Welcome back, everybody. It's Jared and Bob. You're watching Sarcasm Speaks if you're on YouTube, listening wherever you are, probably in the car. And this is it. This is it for us. This is our if you're watching on YouTube, you can see we're in, the studio, I like to call it, the dining room, as some other people might call it. But it never was a dining room because we never had a table. So this is our studio, and this is it. This is our last day in this spot, in this house. We're all done. Not with the podcast, but we're all done here. We got, what, 5 days left before the house is even no longer ours?
Yeah, it's no longer ours a week from yesterday.
Yeah. So actually, when you guys are listening to this, it will be gone tomorrow, on April 20th. Jesus, shut up.
Fuck me.
Yeah, so this is it. This will be our last time recording at this location, and then we're gonna change it up. I think we did talk about this before. We are gonna try and do at least one in-person show a week. We're gonna continue our regular scheduled programming until it becomes a problem, and then we will adjust. But we are going to work on one of them will probably have to be by Zoom because, we don't live in the same house anymore, and our work schedules, even though they might match up,
They probably won't.
We're not going to be in the same location.
Yeah, they probably won't.
So, and it's not like I'm down the street.
Well, actually,
anymore,
if you're available on at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday,
which I usually am.
I can probably get to North Attleboro by 9:15, so we can record for an hour plus. That's 10:15. Then I can drive my ass back to Milton. So I should be home by 11 to turn around and wake up at 5:20.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
that would definitely make for good.
Yeah. That's
good podcasting.
Yep, that's always good. Good quality of life too.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say that would actually be the end of the show when I fucking blow my head off.
Yeah, because no one wants to listen to me fucking talk for an hour by myself. I don't know how people do that. There's they're famous, but there are famous people that do solo shows.
I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Like Bill Burr does a solo show for an hour at a time. Like he sits by himself and talks for an hour.
I mean, the only thing I could think of doing myself would be something moderately educational, but
yeah, and then I couldn't even do that weekly. You know what I mean? I'd run out of shit.
I mean, it would have to be something in a field of expertise, but even then, it's just being in class. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how some people do it, but they do it. And people listen because, again, they're famous. I always think it's more entertaining when you have more than one person. Probably 4 is the max for good, healthy conversation. Because otherwise, once you get to 5, then it's all right, now it's just chaos, as we've learned throughout the years.
Yeah, well, the other part of chaos is our friends are drunk assholes, so...
Well, yeah, too. True.
Us included. I don't want to sound disparaging.
Yeah, no. We are certainly not any better. So, that's that. Like I said, regularly scheduled programming. Nothing's going to change for you guys until, it does.
I was talking to Finn about that yesterday because he has nothing to do up in fucking
He FaceTimed
Maine.
me yesterday again, and I talked to him the entire ride home from Dorchester to North Attleboro.
Yeah, he's like, oh, what are you guys going to do? I'm like, well, ideally do one in person. And then after that, I don't know, maybe a Zoom, or maybe we do 2 in person and just save them, or...
Yeah. Because, we only go for an hour, so it's pretty easy to hit an hour.
Yeah.
Roughly. Sometimes, more recently, we've been closer to 90 minutes, but that's even easier because you just cut it at an hour and then take a break, do another hour, and there you go. It's only a half hour longer than what we've been doing.
But I'm also at some point there also could be 2 Zooms in a week. There could be 2 Zooms for 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, if our schedules change or we just get busy, during busy times of the year, we just have to adjust.
Yeah, so.
It's still going to be us. Still going to be us 2 dumb idiots. So,
and actually, we'll probably have more to talk about because if we don't actually see each other all the time.
Yeah, because we talk about random shit like sitting on the couch.
Just sitting around.
Yeah, it's like, shit, well, we just burned that.
Yep.
It's like, I don't want to have the exact same conversation
I don't want to
again.
repeat this conversation.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Well, a conversation that we started the other day, but now we have more information on, was the whole Daunte Wright thing.
Yes.
In Minneapolis. Well, technically it's Brooklyn, but it's Minneapolis. It's close enough.
Brooklyn's in New York, dude.
Yeah. We got more, I don't want to say all the information, but we got significantly more information from when we talked about this the other day on the show. All we knew was a black kid got shot and killed by a cop.
Yep.
And the city was burning.
Yep.
Now we have more information, like I said, and it was a female officer, Kim Potter, who had been on the force for over 25 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Did you watch the video?
No.
I watched the video. So a couple things here. I did shout out to Finn. Talked to him about this yesterday. And he made a couple really good points while we were talking, but I'll get to them in a second. So I watched the video. It turns out, so let me back up. He was pulled over for whatever reason. I'm hearing different things. I'm hearing he had air fresheners hanging from his back window, which is illegal in Minnesota, or he had expired registration tags on his license plate. Either way, it doesn't matter. People use that as a way to downplay it, like, oh, he got pulled over for air fresheners in Minnesota, and then they drop slightly, which is illegal in Minnesota, but he got pulled over for it's like, he got pulled over for something that's illegal.
They say he died because of air fresheners, and it's like...
Yeah, it's like, no. You're making way too many logical leaps there.
You skipped a couple steps.
Yeah. So regardless of why he got pulled over, he was pulled over for a reason, whether it was air fresheners, which you can't have in that state, or expired tags on his license plate. Well, when they ran his information, they found out he had a warrant for his arrest for a violent gun charge and evading police. So he had previously ran from the police and also had a some type of unlawful gun charge. So the police are now like, well, we have to arrest you because you have a warrant for your arrest. And part of that warrant involves evading the police. You ran from us last time. Well, I watched the body cam from the woman that shot him. And there's a male cop on the driver's side, male cop on the passenger side, and she comes up from the rear on the driver's side. The cop on the driver's side turns him around to the car, puts his hands behind his back, and begins to cuff him. As soon as he starts to get cuffed, he breaks his arms away, spins, and tries to get in his car, and now there's a struggle. So, I'll just call him Officer 1, is kind of like holding him in the driver's seat. And I don't know if he's like trying to pin him to the driver's seat or pull him out and he's resisting. Either way, there's a resistance going on there. And so the body cam has sound. So Officer Potter says multiple times, I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. Stop resisting. I'm going to tase you. Then, as is, I found out, standard procedure for any officer that's about to discharge their taser, she yells, taser, 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 because you have to let anyone nearby know so you don't fucking stick your coworker with the needle or the pin and give them 10,000 volts. You want to hit the perpetrator, not your coworker. So she yells, taser, 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 pulls the trigger, gun goes off. She turns to the other officer and goes, holy shit, I just fucking shot him. So, that is the fact of the case. I watched the video. So don't come at me and say, well, you don't know what it is. No. I watched the video.
Yeah, but how can you be sure by watching?
Did you watch the video? Anyone that tries to be like, that's not how, did you watch the video?
How can you be sure by watching the video?
Yeah. Because it's a fake video. It's actors. it's a reenactment.
Yeah, it's probably doctored.
Yeah. So In the video, you can see the gun. Looks like a gun.
Yeah, tasers don't look like guns.
Nope. So, couple things here. Maybe I'll start with the unpopular opinion. We did discuss this the other day. When you try and run from the police, nothing good ever comes from it. And I said this to Finn yesterday, and I go, nobody enjoys getting arrested, right?
Actually, I was thinking about doing it later today.
It's not a pleasant thing. No one enjoys no one starts their day out and says, you know what, I think I'm going to go get arrested today. We understand it's a very unpleasant process. However, if you are in the process of being arrested and you now try and avoid this arrest, there is no scenario that ends in a good way. More often than not. Sometimes the guys do get away. Obviously, this guy got away last time because he had a warrant for his arrest for evading police. But then you just compound a later issue. You know what I mean? So like he got away last time, but he obviously didn't get away this time.
Yeah, you add a count of evading arrest on
Right.
that.
You're just compounding your future problems. So running from the police typically never ends well. When you're being arrested. Now, if you're a 17-year-old drinking in the woods, hey, I hope you fucking got your track shoes on.
But I just need to know where you're going. You don't have to be fast.
But if you are doing in the process of something and being arrested, if you got caught, if you're a 17-year-old running from the police because you're drinking in the woods and you got caught, don't run then. Like, you're caught. You're about to get arrested. Once you're in the process, do not run. Again, nobody enjoys it. No one is ever going to tell you a pleasant story of them getting arrested. You got caught. Now you have to fucking deal with it. So that's point number one. Don't run from the police if you get caught doing something and you're about to be arrested, because it doesn't end well. You're not gonna have a happy solution there. Number two, this cop, my God, you want to talk about incompetency at the max. Now, I don't know what the standard issue taser is for Brooklyn PD in the state of Minnesota, but most of the tasers that I've seen, although similar looking to guns, and again, I've never even held a taser, to be honest. I've held a gun. I've held multiple guns, and I know it's heat of the moment, but most of the tasers that I see are bright yellow. Like, they look similar to
they're not black.
They look similar to a gun, but probably to avoid the issue of mistaking it for a gun, they're bright yellow.
I think there's also standard issue is gun on one side, taser on the other. Like, you're supposed at like your stock uniform,
Right.
keeps them separated.
Right.
They're not next to each other.
Also, the weight of a loaded gun should be, in my mind, again, I've never held a taser, so I'm speaking out of my ass. I would imagine the weight of a loaded gun would be much heavier than the weight of a taser. And again, I know it's heat of the moment. You're not like, oh my God, this feels heavy in my hand. But, I'm saying there are multiple opportunities that this officer had to realize that she was holding a gun and not a taser, and she didn't get it. So,
Never mind. I do wonder, so I assume an officer with gun and holster has a safety on.
depends. If they're carrying a Glock, Glocks don't have safeties. This is your safety.
Okay, so then I guess that argument doesn't work that well, because it's like you have to remove your gun, knock the safety off, and
I would imagine cops don't have safeties.
okay, that
Because it's an extra step.
truthfully, that makes sense.
In a life and death situation, that extra step of
because
clicking
if
down.
you just need to pull and draw.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, my fucking vast knowledge of guns.
So, very, very, very bad at her job. Did Daunte Wright deserve to die? Absolutely not. It was an awful, awful, awful accident, and Officer Potter deserved to lose her job, 100%. But like I said, there's two sides to it. Don't run from the police because it's not going to end well. And two, hey, be fucking better. I don't know if you need to get I don't know what kind of training needs to go in to
There's no training
teach
for
people that this is a taser, this is a gun. I don't know if it's like you could train them more in high stress situations. So, the repetitions of being in a high stress environment acclimates you to making decisions in that type of scenario. I don't know what kind of shit you got to do, but Jesus Christ, you want to talk about just an awful mistake, but really the highest level of incompetence at your job possible. You just killed somebody
when you wanted to just
right. Not only when you wanted to, you thought you were going to taser. You genuinely thought you had a taser in your hand and you were about to send him 10,000 volts, when instead
just blew a fucking.
You put 45 millimeters of fucking lead in his chest. That's very bad. That is very, very bad. You deserve to lose your job. Now, everyone that's saying she deserves to go to jail, that's a little too much. I don't think she deserves to go to jail. She certainly deserves to lose her job. Again, it's an accident. And people always flip out because they're like, well, it's an accident that cost someone their life. Well, yeah. Have you ever known anyone or heard of a traffic accident where people die? Accidents do happen and people do die in accidents. People trip down the stairs and fall and crack their head and die. That's an accident. It's a high level accident that ends in someone losing their life. It's tragic. It's a tragedy. Again, this kid did not deserve to be dead, but it was an accident due to extreme incompetence. So this is actually one of the more interesting examples of anything that's happened. Yeah.
Actually, maybe not. I don't, because this is really, really accidental, not just incompetent.
This wasn't a piece of shit that put his knee on the back of some guy's neck for 7 minutes and suffocated him.
Or it's not, executing.
By the way, 7 minutes is a long fucking time.
Long time. It's not executing a no-knock warrant at the wrong house. I forget all the details. I know some of it changed, but the Breonna Taylor thing, that was just incompetence.
Yes.
No accidents there.
Right. Yeah, you were at the wrong house.
Yeah, yeah. Is that what it ended up being?
They went to the wrong house. Yeah,
but she wasn't actually asleep. Is that what the?
She wasn't asleep in her bed.
Okay, but they did execute a no-knock warrant at the wrong house.
Yes,
that's just fucking incompetent.
Yeah. Yep.
Check your details,
right.
Especially if you're gonna fucking raid a house. You have all the time in the world to not raid the house.
Yeah. Yep.
That is just incompetent. This woman doesn't have all the time in the world because she doesn't know what the fuck is about to happen. This is right in the heat of it.
Right. Because especially when you run a guy's information and it comes up that he has a gun charge and evading the police, and then you go to arrest him and he starts evading the police, well, what's the other thing that's in the back of your mind?
Gun.
He might have a gun in the car.
Yep.
You don't know. So, it's split-second decisions. I'm interested to see how it goes because she's a woman. Because typically society... Yes, yeah. I believe she was white. Society typically is kinder to women than it is to men. So we'll see. I've seen a couple things, and this is one of the points Finn brought up. I don't know who Sean King is, but people always screenshot his stuff. He's some activist or Black Lives Matter person. I don't know.
I think activist might be the right word.
So he tweeted, and I saw this on Instagram or someone retweeted it on Twitter or whatever, and it was something along the lines of, it's appalling that this officer was allowed to resign. She should have been fired. So let me back up a little bit with that too. It came out the day afterwards that she resigned. She resigned from her job. She made the worst kind of mistake that you could ever make, which ended in a loss of life. And she resigned. The chief of police in the Brooklyn department also resigned along with her. And now this dickhead says it's appalling she was allowed to resign. She should have been fired. Which I turn around and I say, what the fuck does it matter? She's gone. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't work as a police officer anymore.
Well, they don't want her to receive the pension or whatever she's entitled to.
And it's like you want to take someone's, I can't call it a livelihood, but you want to take someone's earnings away because they made a mistake. Like this is where I draw the line, and this is what Finn said. It's a phenomenal quote, and I wish I could take credit for it, but I'm going to give Finn credit for it. And he said, well, now you're getting into the area, do you want justice or do you want vengeance? And when you start wanting vengeance, that's when things get really dirty. Because you got the justice. She made a mistake. She killed someone on duty. She resigned. She's no longer a police officer. The chief of police from the department resigned. You're going to get a whole new a regime theoretically coming in. If it's a new chief, he gets to run things however he wants. You know, it's this officer who was a problem is now taken out because of this instance. The new chief is probably going to have to do a whole, reevaluation of his precinct and his staff. There might be new training. Like, there's going to be something that comes out of this that invokes some sort of change. That's justice.
I think some people are going to look for criminal charges as justice, which I don't know if I would necessarily disagree.
If you want to put her on trial for manslaughter, I'm all for it. I don't know if it would stick.
Yeah, I don't know. This one's really difficult because you want police officers to be able to do their job, but you also want to hold them responsible or accountable.
Right.
This one's fucking hard. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, honestly, if they want to try her for manslaughter, do it. And then let the justice system handle it.
And I think
let the jury and the judge and let the legal process figure out whether or not it can be done. But at least having the trial is having the trial.
If she was tried for manslaughter, I don't think you can ask for any more in terms of justice.
Right.
And if you don't like the result, well, then you need to take it up with the people who made the decision.
Correct.
And if you think that there should be more and she'll live in a cage for the rest of her life with no money or whatever, then you're probably asking for too much again.
Right. And again, now we're getting into the vengeance territory.
And then never mind, it's like, okay, I know this was a massive fuck up.
Yeah.
What if this is her first fuck up?
Right.
Are we going to... Like everyone always says, you can't judge someone on one action. You can't judge someone on one thing. Everyone gets a second chance, like all that crap.
Right. What if we find out, what if someone looks up her record and I think she was in the precinct for like 26 years. What if in her 26 years on the force, she was employee of the month like 150 times. You know what I mean? Like I'm just making. I'm sure.
Like, what if
I'm sure cops don't do employee of the month. But like, what if? I know. Walmart. I'm just saying things. Like, what if? What if she won? She won a bunch of awards. What if she was awesome? She was loved in the community. What if there was a lot of great things that were said about her over 26 years?
Yeah. Or even if there was just nothing.
Yeah, or that too.
Like even if there was just nothing, it's like. Again, you hear it a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say, for those that want to have an opinion on this one, best of fucking luck.
Yeah.
Best of luck. This is a hard one.
Yeah. But I think it's like, kind of like we opened up here and I said, like, don't evade arrest, but also be better at your fucking job. Jesus Christ. Like, this should be a wake-up call to police everywhere to be like, hey man, you might want to batten down the hatches and make sure you're actually, halfway decent at your job, because if you're that incompetent, you could kill someone that doesn't deserve to be killed. Like that's, like I said, like any good cop would probably see that as a wake-up call. And now, I say that, but most good cops are probably not even going to have that scenario. You know what I mean? Like if you're a good cop, you don't have to worry about that. Or like good at your job, I mean. So I don't know. There's a little give and take, but I think every cop should probably take a second and be like, oh, wow, shit. Like maybe I shouldn't skip that training at the end of the month. Maybe I shouldn't write my name on the sign-in sheet and then just go and leave. I don't know how they do trainings, but you know what I mean? Like, it's little things like that. Like, hey, man, you got to make sure you got your fucking ducks in order, because when you don't, someone could die.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This one's gonna. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah,
that's all I've got. I mean, it's really all I have.
Yeah,
because I don't know. Like, I don't want police officers to be out there and hesitating to do their job, but this is fucking bad.
This is very bad.
So I don't know. I really don't know the answer. Luckily, I'm not smart enough to have to figure it out.
Yeah, luckily my opinion does not matter.
Nope.
In the decision. So thankfully for all of you, I am just an idiot that's talking.
Yep.
So you want to continue to talk about idiots and incompetence? I got very, very angry yesterday. I did get over it pretty quickly, but it's just one of these things. And I got a lot of response when I posted on Instagram. So yesterday, again, this is going to come out a little bit later, but bear with me here. Yesterday in my time, I posted on the Sarcasm Speaks Instagram that Dr. Fauci, home run Fauci, Mr. fucking celebrity now, loves the limelight, comes out and says there's been 6 confirmed cases, and 6 females, confirmed cases of getting blood clots after receiving the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. As a result, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be paused at the federal level, which means, because I did get a little more information on this, which means that federal distribution sites are going to stop administering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's now up to each state to do their own. So like,
which Massachusetts has.
Yeah.
They've
so
paused.
If you go, so Massachusetts can tell Walgreens like, hey, you're not going to do it anymore. But
they might tell themselves that they weren't going to do it anymore.
But Texas could tell Walgreens like, you're good.
Fucking
do
go for it.
Whatever you want. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But any federal site that you go to will not be administering Johnson & Johnson.
So do we know how many people have gotten the other vaccines and got blood clots?
There have been some, yeah.
So do we have those numbers anywhere?
Probably not.
Interesting.
So this is where things get really weird for me. So he comes out and he says we're pausing the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Then he says, if you've already received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, there's nothing to worry about. You're okay. So I proceed to look at this for what it is. And I see, well, there have been enough people that have gotten blood clots after receiving this shot that you're going to pause the shot. Then 30 seconds later, you tell everyone if they already got the shot, they're okay. What are we doing? It's either bad enough to pause the shot or it's okay. And I understand, again, there's nuance to everything and you don't want to incite panic and all this stuff, but how hard is it to be like, hey, there's been an issue with this vaccine. We're going to pause it and study it a little bit more until we learn more information about it. We don't know. You can even throw the whole fucking causation correlation thing in our faces. Like, we don't know if it's a direct causation or if it's just a correlation. We need to gather more information and we'll get back to you. If you've already received it, you're most likely going to be okay because I looked this up. It's only 1 in a million. You have 1 in a million chance of developing the blood clots. So you're most likely going to be all right. But, just keep things monitored. If you feel like you need to, talk to your doctor, then go right ahead. Like, how hard is it to have an adult conversation with the TV?
It's impossible.
Like,
it is literally impossible.
I'm a fucking moron. And I just came up with that at 8:28 on a Wednesday morning. off the top of my head.
You know what the best part about the 6 and 6 million? You're more likely to catch and die of COVID than you are to get blood clots from the vaccine. Or you're more likely to catch it and die with the vaccine than you are to get blood clots.
Yes.
From the vaccine.
Yes. Yep.
Because 95% effective.
Yeah.
It's like 0.0001
Yep.
chance of dying of blood clots.
6 out of 6 million. 1 in a million. That's 1/1,000,000th. That's 0.0001 of a percent.
You are more likely to get the vaccine and die of COVID than you are, or maybe you get hospitalized by COVID. I don't know what the fucking 95% effective.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the
95%.
95% effective is actually good at doing. Is it 95% effective at not getting it? 95% effective of not going to the hospital? 95% effective of not dying? No one knows. They just say, well, it's 95% effective.
I think it's 95% effective at not going to the hospital.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. What if you die not at the hospital?
Yeah, what if you never made it?
Yeah, what if you never made it? 95% not going to the hospital. You died before you got to the hospital.
You were just stricken with the Ronas and dropped dead.
Yeah. You were just smited from the Corona god.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just like with this, it's kind of, because we mentioned this on our last episode.
Yep.
So I look at it like the timing is convenient. So here's the deal. It's 6 and 6 million. I would look at that like it's not a big deal. That's how I would look at it.
Right.
And they fucking paused the vaccine.
Right.
Okay. So why did they pick Johnson & Johnson as a pause?
So I had this conversation with someone yesterday.
I'm gonna keep going. So why would they pick Johnson & Johnson for a pause?
We ran out of
tinfoil.
There's no more tinfoil left in the house.
We don't have any. I'll wear a rag on my head. Is that the same thing? Well, there might be an insulated bag in there. There's something
I don't know.
That looks
This
like
Yeti
tinfoil.
is metal. Can I put this on my head?
So why would they choose to stop Johnson & Johnson based on 6 and 6 million? Mm-hmm. And I think about it. Well, what else came up in the last 4 days? Mm-hmm. They're saying Pfizer and Moderna will probably require a 6-month booster. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't hear anything about Johnson & Johnson requiring a booster. And as is, it only requires 1 shot.
Correct.
And then you brought up the interesting point on our last episode that since these are all guaranteed federal contracts, big companies come out and say, hey, we need a booster every 6 months.
Yeah.
You're footing the bill.
Yep. Keep giving us money.
Please keep giving us money.
Yep.
But we got one problem. Those guys in Rhode Island, the 2 Johnson brothers.
Woody Johnson. The guy that owns the fucking Jets.
Him and his brother, Willie.
Woody and Willie.
Woody and Willie Johnson over there. They're kind of not playing ball with us. We got all these booster shots, more doses, more money for everybody, everyone in the pot. But Johnson & Johnson doesn't seem to have any booster shots. Mm-hmm. How can we fix that? Because, everyone got their 2 shots, or everyone's getting their 2 shots. It seems like actually a shitload of people. I don't know what it's like at your work, but it seems like shitload of people at my work, clients, and I don't have staff. So, it seems like everyone's got at least 1.
Yep.
And a lot of people have 2, and a lot of people have had 2 for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
But everyone seemed okay with that. I wonder, is everyone going to be okay if every 6 months you need to sit there and click, 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 refresh, 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 refresh. I finally got an appointment.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to get old for people. Because it's old for me, and I only did it for 5 days. And then I fucking gave up.
Yep.
And then I thought, hey, see you in October. Well, 6 months after October is time for shot 3.
Yep.
I'm not doing this.
Nope.
I'm fucking annoyed.
Neither am I.
We can't go to Buffalo next year. Do you see that?
No, why?
Vaccine passports to go to Bills games in the county.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry, Vinny.
Yeah, fuck them. Whatever. Don't care. I'll watch it on TV.
Yep.
I'll slam myself through a table in my backyard.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yep. Nope. We can't go to Buffalo because they're going to do vaccine passports.
Yep.
But your vaccine passport's only good for 6 months after you get your next shot. Then
Right.
you got to get a new passport. It's fucking nuts.
This whole thing is this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Yep.
is that kind of where you were going with that?
Yep. Because I was going to say, you could get real dark with this, and you could wonder, why is it Johnson & Johnson? And I had this conversation with someone yesterday on Instagram, and I said, what if Pfizer and Moderna have big-time lobbyists in Washington, and they're able to push the government in a certain direction, and Johnson & Johnson doesn't have that kind of pull? Because Johnson & Johnson only administers one shot also, and they're not trying to create a dependence, because that's essentially what's happening.
Yeah.
Pfizer and Moderna are trying to create a dependence on their company, so they're always needed. Which, I mean,
They always will be.
as a business decision, it's a smart.
It's actually pretty
It's
genius.
a smart business
pretty
decision.
genius.
But for the greater good, it's not a great idea. Actually, it's terrible. But as far as business decisions go, it's a genius. So, and how people don't see that for what it is blows my mind. But that, again, that's neither here nor there. And I go, what if, 6 and 6 million, you have a 1 in a million chance of getting a blood clot, and then no one's saying like,
What's the normal chance
what's going
of
to
getting
happen?
a blood clot?
Yeah, like no one's saying like what happens to did they die?
I think there was one death, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, were they just in the hospital? Like, did they have a stroke? Like, no one's talking about like what
this?
happened.
Do they have a history of fucking blood clots in their family?
Exactly.
Genetic predisposal.
Right. So here we go. This is the thing. Whoop, nope. Johnson & Johnson, you got 1 in a million chance of getting a blood clot. We're stopping the shot. But don't worry, if you already got it, you're okay. Well, I look at that and I go, this doesn't smell right. Something's off here.
Something's a rotten in Denmark.
Yeah, something's a rotten in fucking DC.
Something's it's called Washington, DC.
It's called DC.
Something's always been a rotten there.
And it's like, something is not right here. Why? Because like you had said too, other people there is evidence of people getting blood clots from other shots. But Johnson & Johnson's the only one that stopped. Johnson & Johnson's the only one that requires one shot, not a dependence. So I don't know. I say it all the time, man. Follow the money. Follow the paper trail. It just doesn't seem right. And I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I don't want to be like, saying there's all this nefarious things that are going on behind the scenes. But, I would say probably at least 50% of the time, there are nefarious things that go on behind the scenes.
Blood clots from the CDC website.
Yeah.
VTE, which is venous thromboembolism, blood clots.
Yeah.
Leading cause of preventable hospital death in the United States. Preventable. Okay. Blood clots affect as many as 900,000 Americans each year. Want to get a percentage on that?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Okay. And that leads to approximately 100,000 premature deaths. So about just over 10%.
That is roughly a third of 1%. It's 0.0027. So it's 0.01 is 1%. So 0.0027 is 1/3, roughly 1/3. We'll call it a quarter. It's closer to a quarter. 1/4 of 1% of people.
So if we're just going to cherry pick stats to work the way we want them to,
Yes.
people with the vaccine are less likely to get a blood clot compared to the average American.
Yes, the average.
See how stats work, people?
Yeah, 1/4 of 1% of Americans every year have issues with blood clots. Now, then this is where you get into the whole fucking thing, because people, and this is what we've said about the COVID deaths. People are going to die regardless. People are going to have issues regardless. 1/4% of people in the United States every year have some sort of issue. What is it? Where they're hospitalized with blood clots or something like that?
Yes.
1/4% of people every year.
Actually, it just has effects.
So if you have an entire population of people that get a vaccine, you're going to have 1/4% of those people have issues with blood clots.
So the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is actually better than average.
Correct.
So the way that you can manipulate stats to work the fucking way you fucking want them to.
Right.
Oh, actually getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine reduces your likelihood of getting a blood clot.
Yeah.
Also, I'm still on the CDC website.
Oh, wow. I was way off. 1 in a million is 0.0000001. There are 5 zeros before that 1. So you are looking at, that's 1%. That's 0.1%. That's 100,000. Oh, it's weird. It's 1/1,000,000th of a percent. 1 in a million is 1/1,000,000th of a percent.
Who would have guessed that?
So you times that by 330 million people. That's 330 people. So if every single person in the United States got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and you held steady to the 1 in a million people get blood clots, that's 330 people in the entire country.
Does that math look correct?
What are you trying to do?
Claim that it's 2,700 times more likely for you to get a blood clot without the vaccine than it is for you to get one with?
Yes.
So, because all I'm going to do is manipulate stats right now.
Yep.
Just to show you guys how fucking stupid it is.
Yep.
You are 2,700 times more likely to receive a blood clot without the vaccine than you are with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This is the fucking problem with statistics.
Right.
This is why you can't fucking use them. And this is what happens when you don't know the fucking averages.
Right. And this is what happens when you have idiots that make decisions.
Yeah, and there's like snap jerk reactions. It's not so I can completely affirm it is not. And I know it comes down to a certain demographic. It's like all 6 are women and they're all between like 19 and 30 fucking 6, and I'm not going to be able to find the blood clot stats on that.
Right.
But if we're just using average American, dude, it's not the vaccine.
Yeah. Do you know what it probably most likely is? If you say it's
life,
it's women between the ages of 16 and 35,
something like that.
Any of them on birth control? Do you know what the statistical probability of developing blood clots when you're on certain types of birth control?
Got to be high.
It's a lot higher than 0.0000001%.
Birth control in general is not very good for you.
It is awful for you. And when I say you, I mean women. Men don't take it.
I don't take. Actually, I kind of take it for fun.
Yeah.
I do it for the hormones.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my estrogen levels up.
Yeah.
I've always been curious about how big my tits would get,
I just want to be relatable, man.
Yeah. I want to see life on the other side.
As a man, it's hard to be like that. So I take the birth control just to know what everyone feels like.
Let me know when you start bleeding.
I was saying that when my asshole starts bleeding, it's like, just shove a tampon up there.
Dip it in vodka first.
Yeah, once a month.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the other thing too. It's like the 6 women that got it. It's like, well, are they on birth control? That's my number. Again, I'm a moron sitting here at 8:00 in the morning, and I am coming up with these questions.
My first question is, do they have any genetic predisposition?
Right.
Like, is there anything in their in genetic history? Do they have and I just saw, if you have some kind of pre-existing condition, you're 3 times more likely to get it. Wow, go fucking figure.
Right.
Do they have any of those?
Right.
What if every single one of them has some kind of like congestive heart failure?
Yeah.
I bet the congestive heart failure rates are way higher than 0.027.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah. It's wild. And the more we talk about it, the more I'm kind of thinking that there are nefarious
something's
things.
fucked up here.
Like you said, something's rotten in DC, and it's called DC.
Yeah, if it weighs as much of a duck and floats in water, it's a witch.
Yeah, 110%. There's something fishy going on with this. And then the other thing too, I had another conversation with someone that said like, well, And his wife is actually a pharmacist. And he was like, yeah, but like, you know, my wife said he just used the wrong words. Because I put that in my Instagram post too. And I go, maybe he used the wrong words. Like, I'm open here. Like, I'm willing to accept any actual answer for this. I just happen to lean more towards something bad is going on.
Something stinks.
And she even said, like, yeah, he used the wrong words. He's an idiot, whatever. And I go, that's fine. But also, like I just said, you know, whatever, 10, 15 minutes ago when I started, if I can come up with a sentence or a phrase off the top of my head that would make sense, why can't he? Why can't his speech writers? You know what I mean? Like, because these guys have fucking writers for all their shit. They don't write anything on their own. Just go out and be like, hey, yeah, you know, exactly like I said earlier. I don't want to repeat it again, but, you know, along the lines of like, there is an issue with here. We're studying it. We're going to learn more information. If you got it, you're okay. If you want to talk to your doctor and keep it monitored, that's okay too. Whatever. Like, don't come out and say, we're stopping it because there's an issue. But if you got it, you're okay. Well, those 6 people that aren't okay. You know, and it's like, all right. Well, and that's what makes me mad is the deceit and the doublespeak and the don't look at me. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Well, when you tell me there's nothing to see here,
there's something to see there.
I'm going to look a lot harder. I'm going to go get my fucking glasses and I'm going to take a long, hard look.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's fishy. I don't like it.
So if you would like, you can take off your tinfoil hat because
Yes.
I have here an email that was printed out by one of my clients. He's 78, so he prints emails. So this is going to take a second, so work with me.
Yep.
And it starts. The Chinese biological laboratory in Wuhan is owned by GlaxoSmithKline, which accidentally owns Pfizer. Parentheses, the one who makes the vaccine against the virus, which was, parentheses, this is parentheses within a parentheses.
Wow, these are sub-parentheses.
Which was, parentheses, accidentally started at the Wuhan Biological Lab, in which was, parentheses, accidentally funded by Dr. Fauci, who, parentheses, accidentally promotes the vaccine. But they never closed the first parentheses.
Whoa.
Yeah. Glaxo's...
My 6th grade English teacher is having a fucking meltdown.
Also, Dr. Fauci doesn't accidentally promote the vaccine. He does it pretty intentionally.
Yeah.
GlaxoSmithKline is accidentally managed by the finance division of BlackRock, which accidentally manages the finances of the Open Foundation Company, parentheses, Soros Foundation.
Oh, God.
Which accidentally manages the French AXA. Soros, accidentally, owns the German company Winterthur, which accidentally built a Chinese lab in Wuhan and was bought by the German Alliance, which, coincidentally, has Vanguard as a shareholder, which coincidentally is a shareholder of BlackRock, which coincidentally controls central banks and manages about a third of global investment capital. I'm almost done. BlackRock is also coincidentally a major shareholder of Microsoft, owned by Bill Gates, who coincidentally is a shareholder of Pfizer, which, remember, sells a miracle vaccine, and coincidentally is now the first sponsor of WHO, I think.
Yep.
Now you understand how a dead bat sold in the wet market in China has infected the whole planet. Okay, so he gave me this. And again, he's 78. I just let him kind of like whatever.
Right.
He also told me not too long ago that white people were going to have reparations withdrawn from their paychecks pretty soon. Like, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't get paid like that, so
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, what do? I'm sitting there. I got nothing to do. I go to the first line. I go GlaxoSmithKline. I go, I don't know what this is. It's also 3 names. They turned this into 1 name. Anyway, they do own Pfizer.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. I used to own stock in GSK.
Okay. So they own a bunch of shit, and like they do own something to do with China or whatever. But it is very disputed that they own the lab in Wuhan. Very disputed. And I've also seen nowhere that they do. I've only seen that they don't. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know where the burden of proof needs to lie on this.
Yeah.
But if you can't prove that they own it, then I can't say that they own it.
Right.
First line. So all that.
Yeah.
All that shit I read. And I read it fast intentionally so that no one would pick up on it. But just so that they're trying to make this go all the way through from the lab in Wuhan to a third of the global investment capital.
Yeah.
And in the way, including Soros and Bill Gates. See, the second you include Soros, I knew it was fucking...
Anytime anyone says the name George Soros, I'm like, all right, well, now I probably can't listen to what you're saying.
Right. So,
did they turn the frogs gay too?
Yeah, whatever. So, yeah. And then I look it up. First line, wrong.
Yeah.
And this is what people think.
Right.
And this is where we're at. And this is how people fucking start to... Like this is like when we break out our tinfoil hats, I at least hope we don't sound like this fucking email.
No.
I really hope we don't, because I mean, sometimes we're dickheads, but usually we're dickheads about things that don't matter.
Right. Yeah, and it's shit like that too, where that, you know what it is too, is the end of the day, that's fun for people. Because that's why I follow conspiracy theories a lot. I don't buy all of them. I read into some of them, and I kind of maybe believe some of them, or partially. Like, I think I've said it before about like the moon landing. I think we did land on the moon. However, all of the footage that exists is fake. Like, so it's like a half truth, like a half conspiracy. Like, we did actually go to the moon, but we have no footage of it, because when you pass through the Van Allen radiation belt, that destroys film. And back in the 1960s, the type of film that they had would have been destroyed going through the radiation. You know what I mean? Like, all that shit. Like, it was most likely filmed in Hollywood, but the guys were actually there. So it's like little things like that where, whatever. But it's fun for people. Conspiracies are fun.
Yeah, but see, like that,
because it gives you, you know what it does is it gives you a person to blame. Because everyone is looking for someone to blame for all of this. And then this one in particular, you just, you go heavy hitters. You're like, oh, well, GlaxoSmithKline owns Pfizer, which owns the Wuhan lab, which is run by this company that does this for George Soros. And then it's like, ooh, George Soros. And then it's
Bill Gates.
Well, he does this for then Microsoft is a holder in this company, which is, Bill Gates. And then it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's fun. Because now people are it's literally Charlie Day in Always Sunny. Everything
Pepe Sylvia,
Pepe Sylvia, except in real life it's George Soros. Like, everything leads back to George Soros for these people.
Or Hitler.
Yeah. Every argument that goes on long enough will invoke Hitler. Or George Soros. That'd be a fun one to see who comes up first. Like, every argument that's played out.
Hitler, way more popular.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. That's our conspiracy for the day.
Yeah. So also, it brings us back to neutral a little bit when we're like, oh, something's fucked in the Johnson & Johnson. And then, oh, by the way, we just rip that apart.
Yeah, that's just dumb. Let me see. Yeah, we can wrap this up. You want to wrap it up?
Yep.
All right. I got a couple more things, but we're going to have plenty more episodes, so.
True. I got a problem.
Yes.
With furniture and furniture assembly.
Ooh.
So, furniture and just about all furniture requires an Allen wrench, and typically it also requires bolts.
Yep.
Now, they give you the tools you need, because I don't know how the fuck else you would have all this shit and everything fits in like different area, like, you assemble a fucking, like again, I was assembling patio furniture. This is why I'm fucking pissed. And like, sometimes you have like, it's really easy to get the fucking shit in. And sometimes it's like you're sitting there and you can't even see what you're fucking screwing, tightening, whatever.
Right.
But my fucking Lord, like, do we really, like, what the fuck does an Allen wrench do that a regular bolt can't? Like, is there something special?
Money.
I just don't get it.
It's like some company, whoever makes hardware, was like, let's make as many different types of inserts at the top of our hardware, and then we're going to also create that tool that uses the hardware, so everyone has to buy more stuff.
Yeah, they
from us.
monopolize it. But then it's like they give you the Allen wrench, and it's like, well, great, so I have to drop this 7,000 times while assembling this.
Yep.
And then they give you like this bullshit wrench that fucking sucks.
Yeah,
It, like,
that's
really
made out of fucking
sucks.
plastic.
It's like it's like as thin as a piece of paper, which means again I dropped that 4,000 times.
Yep.
Never mind that it's like just like nothing catches. Like why
Yeah.
the fuck do we need to do this?
Yeah.
And then never mind that when I was doing this, I was kind of hungover, kind of hungry, trying to get shit built, and it was just like sitting there.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? But like even like the other day with the bed,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Allen wrench. And it's like, I'm sure that tool bag has like 400 Allen wrenches in there.
But it's not
But
the right
typically I
size.
only have, like, that's the thing. It's like, I
Yeah.
probably have every size of Allen wrench, but I can't draw on them when I need them.
Yeah.
And it's like, just why? Why does it always an Allen wrench?
Yeah. Why does it have to be so difficult for shit?
And like, why does it always have to be this crazy bolt that you know they don't make a socket for?
Right.
Too.
Like, why can't everything just be Phillips head?
Like, I just don't get that.
I don't understand.
And then I don't know, again, like the socket thing would have been nice, but like I would have needed a fucking socket that was like, I don't know, 3 inches fucking long.
Yeah.
To account for the bolt to get through.
Right.
It's like, fuck me.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
So yeah, I love putting together furniture. Really do. I just fucking love it. Well, like even when I was disassembling the bed, it was the same thing. It was like wrench on this side, unscrew this side. Like, fuck off.
Yeah. It's all fucking stupid. It sucks. I don't understand why it exists either.
I
Like,
don't
why
know.
have that many different types of like
Because then there's like the square, and
turning
then there's the
material?
star.
Yeah.
Those don't make any damn sense.
No. All right. So my final thought is kind of crazy, kind of cool. For me at least.
I'll be the judge of that.
So Elon Musk, we know, is like the savior of the world, the smartest guy in the world, whatever.
President 2024.
Yeah. Yep. His odds are listed on my bookie, Elon Musk. Do it. Give my bookie free money. Use our promo code SarcasmPod when you sign up to get a 50% match on your first deposit. Elon Musk, one of his companies that he owns is called Neuralink. Now, what this is quite literally a brain chip. All of this stupid bullshit about the vaccines that they're chipping you. Well, Elon Musk has come out and said, no, I'm creating a company that is a brain chip.
We'll be chipping you.
Yes, we will be chipping you 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're not going to sneak it in a vaccine. We're not going to put it in your cell phone to slowly change. No. We're putting a chip in your brain. This is exactly what we're doing. Very straightforward. That's why I love the guy. That's why I'm going to vote for him in 2020 when he runs. I'm sorry, 2024.
Yeah.
Well, it might as well be 2020 because he can't run anyway. So
He's just as likely as
Yeah.
winning in 2020 than he is in 2024.
yeah, exactly. So his company Neuralink, what it's eventually going to do and what it's going to start to do is his goal to be at the beginning to get funding and all this stuff is to literally unparalyze people. So people that have spinal cord injuries, people that lose function of their limbs for whatever reason, whether it's MS or whatever else it is, all those things. He wants to use it to fight Alzheimer's too and help reverse brain deterioration. That's how it's going to start. Eventually, he has said on Joe Rogan that it will get to the point where if everyone has it, we're essentially going to be able to like communicate telepathically. Like you don't have to talk to say something to somebody, which is
more annoying.
Which is interesting because then you'll be able to convey intent. So like, if I say you're a stupid bitch, like if someone hears that, they're going to be like, oh my God, you just called him a stupid bitch. But then they'll be able to like hear the intent that it was a joke. So they get way more into it. If you want to hear more about it, just watch the episode with Elon Musk on Joe Rogan. But that's where it's going. But to start, it's going to help people like, come back from being paralyzed, which I think is fucking amazing. And it's absolutely bananas that you could take someone that's paralyzed and then have them walk again. It's just wild. So they've done their first step in this process. And they took a monkey and they put it's a macaque, a 9-year-old macaque monkey. They put a chip in his brain and they connected the chip to a computer. And on the computer, they installed a game. They installed Pong. Do you remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
So anyone that's listening, you might know what it is. You might not. If you don't know what it is because you're 6 years old, just Google it. And if you are 6 years old, why are you listening to us? So they installed this game on a computer, and the monkey sat there in front of the computer screen and played Pong with his brain. So he just looked at the computer screen and moved the fucking things with his brain and played the game of Pong, which might seem like, oh yeah, whatever, but stop for a second. A monkey with a chip in his brain played a computer game with his mind. That's a big fucking deal.
It's kind of crazy, right? Like, how?
I don't know. That's why Elon Musk is going to be president.
This is why I'm sitting here.
This is why we're sitting here and not working for Neuralink.
Literally how?
I don't know. A chip in the brain of a monkey. He played Pong.
Which also goes to show you that if they had the motor control, monkeys could play Pong.
Yes, this is true.
It's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, his brain knows what he's doing. It's just that his hands won't be able to use the controller.
Oh, they don't have thumbs.
Monkeys have thumbs.
They have thumbs?
Yeah, of course they do.
I thought that's what separated us from the monkeys.
No. What separates us from the monkeys is our brain.
I thought it was vaccines.
Oh, yeah, that too. Well, it's not the chips anymore because now the monkeys have the chips and we don't. So, what's actually really interesting is Rogan made this point the other day. I was listening to his podcast and he said that what's really interesting is that as we've evolved, our heads have gotten bigger and our bodies have gotten softer. So if you look at like an orangutan, they have tiny heads, but they're fucking shredded. I know they're covered with hair, but like if you see a hairless orangutan, they're absolutely fucking shredded. They look like The Rock in Scorpion King. Like it's fucking wild. And then you like keep going down, and then as you get to Australopithecus and all these other things as through evolution, and then you get to humans. We have bigger heads because our brains are bigger, but our bodies are soft as fuck because we're just dumb. Well, actually, it's the opposite. We're smart, so we don't have to use our bodies as much. And it's weird to because I forget who the guest was that was on with him, but they talked about it. And they were like, if you fast forward that, eventually we're going to get smarter and our brains are going to get bigger. Maybe we have a chip that's in our brains and we get more information. And then we get to the point where we have to stop moving. And then all of a sudden we just our bodies like wither away. And then he always says, is, like the stereotypical alien. Like everyone right now, use your imagination, think of an alien. What you probably just thought of is a short little gray man with a massive head, giant eyes, maybe there's a mouth, maybe there's not, and a little tiny body.
Mine was green.
Yeah, green, gray, whatever. Maybe I'm just colorblind and green is gray to me. And then he says that, if you fast forward thousands of years from now, that could be humans. Like what we could envision as aliens, like the cartoon aliens, could actually be us in the future because we've followed this progress where as our brains have gotten bigger, our bodies have gotten softer from, chimpanzees and orangutans all the way up to human. It's pretty interesting. I kind of want to play Pong now.
I kind of want the brain trip. Brain trip.
Yeah, I would sign up for that.
It's so funny too because we'll sit here and bitch about the vaccine, and it's like, yeah, fuck it, take. It's almost like with people, and again, so because I deal with this, and obviously I got people that couldn't wait to get the vaccine. They think everything's solved because they're vaccinated and all's great. And then I do have some of the people that are like, well, we don't know what's in that. You can't just put that in your body.
Yeah.
Like I fucking have not treated my body good enough to to use that argument.
My body is the temple of doom.
So I'm like, I can't use that argument. It's like, with what respect have I ever treated my body?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I don't like being told what to do, but I'm like, also like, whatever. Not the point.
Yeah.
It's like brain chip. I don't actually want it, but saying I want it to be a dick is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I would do it. I wouldn't be the first one. Like I would, maybe I would. I don't know. Fuck, man. I think mostly why I am kind of have an affinity towards it is because of Elon Musk. And I I love Elon like that much. Like
Elon Musk told you to jump off a bridge, would you?
Yes. Head first.
He doesn't need to tell me.
For good measure. Yeah.
Tie an anvil to my neck.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just, I think it's fascinating. And I think it's going to be really interesting to watch how this goes. And I'm super excited to see the first person get it and literally end paralysis and Alzheimer's. Like, we've been spending so much fucking time. We've probably spent the last, 30 years roughly on Alzheimer's and dementia. You hear it all the time. Support Alzheimer's research, support dementia research. There have probably been millions, if not billions of dollars thrown at researching Alzheimer's disease. We're finally recently, we're like, oh, well, we think it has to do with inflammation in the brain. So now everyone's talking about inflammation and what happens here and there, what we have to do.
Shades. You can't eat
and then,
nightshades.
and all this stuff. And then ways to combat it. You need to, read when you get older. You need to be more active when you're older, like the opposite of what people do. Because when you stop and do nothing, that's when things bad happen. And we're getting all of this stuff from millions and billions of dollars we put in this research for Alzheimer's. And then Elon Musk just kind of walks by and goes, yeah, I'm just going to put a brain chip in you, and then you won't get Alzheimer's anymore. But imagine the big dick energy of that. Like, he just walks in and goes, oh, that's cute. How much money have you spent in the last 30 years researching this? Yeah, I have the solution.
That's the best part too, is he does not care about any part of it.
Yeah.
Like, if the government wants to try to tie him up with it, he'll just say, man, fuck it. You know what? Just take it. Have it for free. Fuck you.
Because they have limbs now for people that are amputated or amputees. They have the limbs that connect to your neurons and your nervous system, where they're artificial limbs, but they work. Like, you can control them with your brain.
Like Bucky's arm?
Similar, yeah, except they're not made out of vibranium.
Why not?
I think they're made out of adamantium instead.
Oh, I would say, because I think vibranium would be a pretty decent choice.
Yeah, dude, I would sign up for that too.
Very durable.
You want to replace my limbs with fucking vibranium?
You know how fucking far I would hit a golf ball?
Oh my God, you know how fast I would run? How high I could jump?
I still wouldn't run. I could have no actual muscles, therefore not requiring any cardiovascular demand on my body, and I still wouldn't run.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, give me vibranium legs, and
I would hit a golf ball so fucking far.
Oh yeah, that'd be a blast.
Oh, I'd have no touch though.
Fuck it, I want to be a cyborg now. Sign me up. Where's Elon? Get me to Texas. Let's go. I'm gonna be patient zero. Put all the fucking artificial shit in me. I'll be like Will Smith in iRobot.
It's awesome.
But I'm not getting the vaccine.
People listening to us must be infuriated. You guys sit there and talk shit about this and that, whatever, and then you fucking bring up a brain chip, and it's the best thing ever.
Here's the thing. If Tesla or Neuralink or one of his companies, if SpaceX wanted to come out and be like, oh, we have a vaccine for coronavirus, I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking that one. It's part of the reason, because part
of the reason my dad wants to open his own fucking city.
Yeah,
absent a government regulation.
Yeah, it's I like Elon Musk. I like what he stands for. I like what he does. I've heard him speak enough times now where I feel like I have an understanding for like where his head is at and where he wants to go, which I think is also, now that I'm saying this, I think it's super interesting because he had the opportunity to do something in the last year with COVID and he was like, yeah, no, not big enough for me. Like, imagine that.
It's not important enough.
Like, it's Elon fucking Musk. And he was like, we're in a global pandemic. And Elon Musk is like, yeah, don't give a fuck. This is not an actual problem. I'm gonna keep getting us to Mars, and I'm gonna keep working on this brain chip so this monkey can play video games, and then I'm gonna continue to make electric cars for you guys too. So yeah, you guys can all fuck yourself with this global pandemic. I literally just thought of that. Like, we've been in a global pandemic for over a year now, and Elon Musk is like, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us. Maybe next time we do the podcast, I'll have a brain chip and I'll be communicating with you telepathically. But
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So thanks for watching if you're on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, click the thumbs up, leave us a comment. The engagement helps with all the visibility things and rankings and all that stuff. Subscribe wherever you're listening right now. If you're on Apple, go over to the iTunes store. It's super quick. Just do it. It's fast. It helps us. Again, it's the engagement that makes more people see the show. Big boost in, what was it? Virginia, California, Texas, Pennsylvania too, which I think might have been Jones when he was in Pittsburgh. to be honest, I think all of the downloads that we got from Pennsylvania were probably just Jones. But yeah, I mean, we're got a pretty solid hold in the Northeast. Like I said, a couple in Texas and Virginia, and a few in California, Washington. But keep spreading the word. Keep telling everybody you know about the show, and by going and writing a review on iTunes and leaving us 5 stars, that's going to help other people see the show too. And then we are on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Our Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks, and our Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. So until next time, that is it for us in our final episode of The House at this location. Good night.